double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with the great man Sauce. We're back at it. We're back at it, baby.
Back at it, Dom. Back again. Show 67. CardPorn potentially back in our good books. We'll have a bit to say about it later on.
I wouldn't say they're in the good books. I think they're just back to being what they were meant to be. Like in the hobby, instead of lemons, like they're just doing their job for us. Like that's it. Massive episode. NBA preview, mate. Like, how exciting is it? It's 1 week away. This time next week, the ball's getting tipped. So I think
I love it, Doma. It's on the agenda. NBA is back. And we know it because we're seeing a lot more NBA movement on eBay. If you're looking up, there's a lot more NBA cards listed. I've been selling some NBA stuff myself. So, yeah, definitely a good time. If you had some pieces that you wanted to move, look at moving them along because as the interest of the season rolls around, so does the interest of the card market. So now is your time to list away and sell.
100%. We have been saying that for a while, that basketball was the time to get in when the season ended. So we are going to do a season preview. We're going to do over-unders on where we think James, man, straight away. Oh, mate, we haven't even started the season. Just bang! 0-5 for the preseason. Cop that, Sauce. I can't wait. He's going to cop so much shit this season from me, Saucy.
It's the preseason, Thomas. Like, I'm not worried. It's the preseason.
Sauce. All right, before we even get into this.
That's all right. All I know is the preseason's a good time because I've got some Jordan Nwora cards and he's been dominating in the preseason. And I tell you what, I've put this order up on there. It's got about 10 watches already and I've had it on there for 24 hours on eBay. Buy my Jordan Nwora cards, please, people out there.
The thing that I don't think you seem to understand is that what Westbrook's regular season stats are exactly the same as what you're getting in the preseason. So that doesn't actually change. His field goal percentage is still 33% or less per game. He still jacks up. He's
coming back. Well, he's glitched out. You glitched out. You're back, Dom. So, or me or you, one of us.
Oh, it was one of us. I seem to be all right on this end now. But we'll get straight into it. Season preview. We've got a lot of stuff to cover throughout the show as well. So we're going to start off with the Atlantic Division, which is the Boston Celtics, the Knicks, Philly, Brooklyn, and Toronto. As I said, we will talk about cards as well in this, along with the overs and unders. I've got a Bleacher Report up here as well on what they think teams will finish. But Sauce, over-unders for the Boston Celtics. And I'll give a bit of a rundown on their
so the Boston Celtics, the bookies have got them at 46.5. So do we think they're going to win more than 46.5 games? Doma, what do you think on the Celtics?
Al Horford back. Josh Richardson in that team now as well. A scorer. Enes Kanter's back through free agency. Bruno Fernando in that team. Hernan Gomez in that team. And obviously the big one was Dennis Schroeder was the pickup. They lost Kemba Walker, which is not really a loss because he never plays. Tristan Thompson didn't really have much effect. Ojale, Taco Fall, Carson Edwards. All these guys that they lost, Sauce, literally have no effect on their team. Maybe Evan Fournier, but he wasn't really... I think he was injured for a fair chunk while playing with the Celtics
played a little
last
bit,
season.
A few games. But,
so not for anything. All the guys that they lost really never make it onto the hardwood anyway. So notable bolster in their team. I do think this is tough. They're playing the East. Their team's going to be very good. I'm going to say over 46.5.
Yeah, one of the better teams in the East. I think they should finish in the top 5 seeds. So, I'm going to go over the 46.5 as well, Doma.
Very nice. We've got the New York Knickerbockers up next.
So obviously a massive season last season, making the playoffs for the first time in however many years they got there. Julius Randle forgot how to play basketball. and the bookies have got them at 42.5 on the overs and unders. This is a tough one, Tomo, because I'm at the, good improvement by them.
Yep.
Obviously, Tom Thibodeau made a massive, change to that franchise in the way that went about it. I mean, he's had success previously, also in the playoffs with other teams. Very defensive-minded coach, actually helped out their defense. And their offense came along until the playoffs where they struggled immensely. Looking for RJ Barrett to obviously take another step in his third season. Look for him to become a bit more of a scorer. That number 42.5, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm going to sit at the under. I'm going to say we're going to go under. It is slightly edged that people have got them at the under. The under is $1.83. The over is $1.90. So people are edging to the under. But I just think it's going to be tough for them to back up that season last year. Teams are going to be ready for Julius Randle. Obviously, he had a breakout,
100%.
and the stuff he was doing last season was, stuff we hadn't seen Julius Randle do before. So maybe you were catching out teams. The fact that he was doing, moves and taking on the offense the way we hadn't seen previously. But I think teams will be ready for him this season. So, I'm going to go the under 42.5.
I am also going under 42.5. Obviously, their notable additions were Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, but I'm not really too big on New York. I reckon they're going to get found out. Philly, they've been all the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons so far in the offseason. But notable additions were Grant Riller, Aaron Henry, Georges Niang, Andre Drummond, which is actually Joel Embiid's son, and Jaden Springer, who was their number 28 pick in the draft. They lost George Hill, Tolliver, and Tucker. Yes, Adam, great to have you in. And Ben is back at Philly. So what is the line for this Sauce? It'd have to be 50 wins, min.
Yeah, it's 52.5. So 52.5 for Philly from the bookies. I'm edging. Oh, sorry, not 52, 50.5. My bad. It's 50.5. So yeah, you're bang on the money there. And I'm going to edge to the under. Even though I think they have enough talent there. Is that issue that they're having right now going to remain there all season? Is Ben Simmons going to just play the first few weeks of the season, show people that he can actually play some basketball, and then they'll actually have something ready for him to trade? Yeah, I mean that's what people are saying, that he's just going to play the first few bit, because obviously the trade deadline doesn't shut until about 4 or 5 weeks into the season. So there's still a bit of time to move him on at the beginning of the season. So I think that's going to be the case. But I'm going to go under 50.5 wins, because I tell you what, Ben Simmons goes out of that team. I don't think they really get much of the way of a fair replacement, especially because now it's more the fact that other teams are strong arming them into pretty much giving them peanuts for Ben Simmons. And if Joel Embiid does get injured, which most likely he will, because he does every season, they're going to struggle to win games.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go over Sauce. I think they can win 51, 52 games. I do, but I'm not very confident on it. Let me just say that. I'm just not too confident on it. I'm with you. They're getting strong-armed. Simmons' contract is horrendous. People don't want to take it on unless he comes out and starts shooting, jacking up threes and starts nailing them. But I don't know. They're a bit of a unicorn team, to be honest, in terms of going the other way instead of winning a title. So, and Embiid, like you said, he's going to get injured. So, Simmons to Pacers for Karis LeVert and Brogdon, says James. There'd be 2 good gets for Philly. So it's all about Embiid being healthy. If he gets injured, they're finished. Or Blazers for CJ. They can't win. Philly can't win. All right, Brooklyn's up next. Notable additions. There's some good ones in here, Sauce. James Johnson, LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap. It's good to see LaMarcus Aldridge is coming back from that heart issue. DeAndre Bembry, Javon Carter, and it says here that they got Sekou Doumbouya, but I'm pretty sure you've got Sekou Doumbouya at the Lakers.
Well, he got waived. Yeah, he got waived by them, so I'm not exactly
you
sure.
picked him up. He was on your bench today in preseason.
Okay, there you go.
You got Sekou.
Right.
So all your Sekou cards are still worth nothing because he's not getting a run at the Lakers.
He's not getting a run at the Lakers, I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell
he
you
had
what.
the opportunity to play at Detroit where their team stunk and they played Blake Griffin over him. Now he's gone to a team where there's about 4 other guys in front of him. So he's cooked.
I'll tell you what, Sekou Doumbouya investors and card buyers, now's not a good time to sell these cards because they're worth peanuts. I think I seen a flawless RPA number to 20 or 25 or something like that go today for only about 200 US, which is absolutely nothing.
That's overpriced in my opinion. Should be less than that.
Yeah.
You might not ever play, mate. Like.
Yeah, I know, Dom, but when you have a look at what the price say they're paying for freaking Theo Maladon or Pochachevsky or something like that, it's relevant. Yeah, like $200 is peanuts compared to the prices that they're paying for some of these guys that have just come out of the 2021 draft. So, there was just a real eye opener to the fact that people are really, really off the Sekou Doumbouya bandwagon, and rightfully so. I mean, when you get waived by 2 teams, you get waived by a team, you get traded, then waived, then you end up on the Lakers where you're most likely going to be in the G League or just warming the bench. So, not looking good for Sekou. But the Brooklyn Nets are 46.5, Doma, to go back on them.
46.5?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but I'm gonna go to the over.
They'll win 50 games.
James Harden single-handedly, as long as he's fit, he can win 50 games himself.
If him and KD play, they win 50 games, and their team's better. They got Patty Ice Mills, mate. Now, like, come on.
They got some bench.
Yeah, like they're winning over 46.5. That's guarantee, in my opinion. Seriously. What? Well, because Kyrie Irving's not going to play. Kyrie Irving hasn't played for the last 3 seasons. What? He didn't play in Boston. He was injured. He doesn't play in Brooklyn. Doesn't play in Cleveland because he wants to trade. It doesn't matter. Like
he's worse than Anthony Davis, mate. How much time he takes off. He's
too busy, like you said to me the other day. He's just going to his sister's birthday parties and stuff, like whatever he's doing. Yeah, that's like.
Well, he's going to miss 46 games, Doma, so he's going to have 46 birthdays to attend.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like he doesn't want to get the jab, so like he's not going to play. Mate, he doesn't play at the best of times anyway. Jab or no jab, what's any different to any other season? Like
that's true.
They dominated last year, and they didn't even have him, and they killed it. They were literally a toenail away from making the Eastern Conference Finals, or making the finals. Sorry.
Yeah, fair point.
A KD
46.5. Give it to me every day of the week.
He's global. He's in. 2 beautiful humans. Yeah, you're a legend, mate.
Thanks, mate. I had a shave today, so I appreciate it.
Next up, we have Toronto. They're going to struggle. They got some young guns in there, which is good, but they picked up Precious Achiuwa from the Heat. They got Goran Dragic as well. Kyle Lowry has left. He has departed.
Mate, they must see something in my boy KZ Okpala down there at the Miami Heat because he hasn't been shipped off yet. He hasn't been shipped off, so I'm still hopeful.
Mate.
I'm still hopeful. Has he been getting minutes in the preseason or what, Doma?
I haven't even looked, to be honest.
Because that's how much we look into the preseason, isn't it, Doma? That just goes to show you.
You know when I'll start watching
absolute jack shit.
You know when I'll start watching basketball, Sauce? Opening night when there's a tip-off, and actually the shit that I watch counts, and half the rotations that you've seen, or no, 3/4 of the rotations that you've seen in the preseason, you'll never see them again. Unless all the superstars in that team are injured. Simple as that.
Back onto the Toronto Raptors, because we're rambling on here. Toronto Raptors, 36.5. Over under.
Under.
I tell you what, the bookies have got it 36.5, and it's been smashed into $1.66. Smashed in.
Nah, under.
Donna's going with the 36.5 at $2.20. It's been pushed out. I mean, the punters really think that Toronto is going to be half decent this season.
They got a good bench. Dragic.
Did Dragic go there, did he?
Yeah.
So they got Dragic off the bench. They got obviously Gary Trent Jr. starting, Spicy P,
Van Vliet.
OG Anunoby potentially taking
Fred
another
Van
step
Vliet.
up.
Precious Achua.
I'm gonna go with the bookies here. I'm gonna go with the $1.66. It's 36.5. I'm going against you. I'm gonna go overs. I'm gonna go overs.
Fair
over
enough.
36.5.
All right, let's go on to the Central Division. First team up, the Bulls. I like the Bulls, mate. I like them. Lonzo's in, DeMar DeRozan's in, Derrick Jones Jr., Tony Bradley's in, and of course, the GOAT. The GOAT is in, Alex Caruso. He's coming down to Chicago, mate, teaming up with Zach LaVine and your boy Patrick Williams, who I'm expecting to take a massive, massive leap
P will, mate.
into
P
this
will.
season. What's the bookies got him at here? Because I'm
42.5.
Yeah, it's over.
Which is
They're playing the East.
It's a pretty
East is
decent
shit.
number. Their team has improved. They've got a very solid center in Vucevic now.
Yeah.
You know,
That's another guy that they got.
he's a very, very solid player. All-star as well. You got Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball's obviously out to prove a point. You know, as much as people want to, you know, he got shipped out of New Orleans. He's shooting the ball a hell of a lot better than a lot of other guards out there. He's changed his shot from his rookie year. Obviously, doesn't have that big wind-up shot, which doesn't allow you to get it up as quick in the NBA. You need to be a bit quicker on the trigger. He's adjusted that, and he shot the ball very, very well last season. And, you know, there's from someone who watched a lot of Lonzo Ball
in his said to invest in Lonzo. It's
early days.
It was horrendous
when
he said it, but it's come
not
good
when
now.
he said it. Not
when
he said it.
It was horrendous. He's just losing
when
people money.
Yes, when he said it was terrible, and I was just like, you can't be saying that. But I'm not saying I still don't think he's a guy that you invest in for long term. But you know, everyone do what the hell you want. If you want to buy Alonzo Ball cards, go ahead. But I just think that the team overall has got enough to get over the 42.5 wins. I'm with you there. They're in the East. You know, if there's a time they're going to take a step up, it has to be now. You know, Patrick Williams is the guy to buy on that team. You don't waste your money on Lonzo Ball. Patrick Williams is the guy. You know, Lonzo Ball obviously been in the league a few years, but he's never going to be an out-and-out superstar, whereas Patrick Williams has that potential. You know, he's got a bit more to develop, but he's only 20 years old. The way I seen him defend and play last season was enough for me to obviously pick up some nice autos of his. So, yeah.
Over under 42.5.
I've gone over.
Are you going over? All right, we can fly through a couple of these teams so we don't lose track of time. Indiana, what's their over and under? I'll just quickly tell you who they got.
43.5.
They're what?
43.5, yeah.
No, it should be over 30.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. They did pretty well last season.
Under.
They did pretty well last season.
Brogdon, LeVert, Holiday, Sabonis, Turner.
That's decent. I'm going to go over. If LeVert stays healthy, Sabonis stays healthy, Brogdon's a good player.
No.
I'm going over.
Next.
43.5. Give it to me.
Next, we got Detroit. What's theirs?
Whatever it is, under. Let me just find it. 1 second, mate. Hang on. Detroit, it's 24.5. We're going under 24.5. I think so.
They stink.
Under 24.5. Cade Cunningham, this is where you should just come out and just put up 50 shots a game. You're the number one pick. Just do what the hell you want. Showboat. And yeah, look, they're terrible. It's all about development down there at Detroit Pistons. All about development. Let's see how Cunningham can fare this year.
Next up is a big one. The Bucks. They added George Hill, Rodney Hood, and actually a player that I love, because defensively he's very good and he can actually hit a three. In Grayson Allen, he's an agitator. He's Patrick Beverly light, mate. I like people that are agitators but can back up their game. They lost PJ Tucker, which is a notable loss as a vet. They lost Bryn Forbes, who had some big games, hit some big shots, but not really a loss. And they lost Jeff Teague, which is a nothing, really. They have their same team in Drew Holiday, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez there. They still got Bobby P. The one addition that they won the title without is Dante DiVincenzo comes back from that ankle injury. He played obviously in the first round and then he got injured, but he wasn't there on that championship run at the end. But we saw how well he did develop. I know he's one of your boys, Sauce, and rightfully so. He developed very well and he fits that system very well. And he presents another offensive threat to opposition, which obviously they've
plays elite defense.
Exactly right. So they've added some great defenders here in a while. They added a great defender in Grayson Allen, but they lost PJ Tucker, who was a good defender and a bit of a, scrapyard, junkyard dog, mate. JYD, as they say. Azurdo's just come in and said, Gruden mind tip for Lamont of the week.
Junkyard dog, like your connection at the moment, mate. You're blowing up on me. You're blowing up on my. I'm laughing. You're lagging out and shit.
Am I actually?
So yeah, you are. Milwaukee Bucks. They've got him at 55.5 games for wins. I'm definitely going to go over. I'm confident the Bucks. They should get close to going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Their team has improved for mine. The guys that they've got, obviously, DiVincenzo is coming back from the championship run, and then the few guys there that they look like they've found one in Jordan Nwora. I really think he will get minutes this season. Can wing. What's the word for it? He's a 3 and D guy. Can spread the floor, shoots the three ball really well. I think there was one game in this preseason where he hit 7 from 10 or something like that, something juicy. You got that stroke if you don't lace 7 of them through the net if you average at shooting. So, I think they've had some improvements overall to their team. And then obviously the chemistry itself should improve. First year, Drew Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis on the same team, and they went and won a championship. So, I mean, the chemistry is already pretty good. They can build upon that.
What was the line again?
It was 55.5.
I'll give you a hot tip. Do you want a hot tip this early? The ball hasn't even been tipped yet. If Milwaukee's healthy, they go back to back. No one's better than them. I don't care what anyone says. Don't worry about the Lakers, mate. They got no chance of winning it. Brooklyn, you got to remember with Brooklyn, all these guys are another year older now. You're relying so heavily on 2 guys. You got to remember LeBron's older again, and that's fine because we know what LeBron does. Yeah, I'm not doubting LeBron. I'm just saying he's got another year older. I know Davis has come back. He's put on a bit of size, which is good. But I just look at the Lakers roster, which when we get to it, and I'll discuss why I don't think they can win it. But in the back of your mind, you got to say you can never doubt the king. But I'm tipping Milwaukee will win it all again. Next
so
up,
over 55.5, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Cavs next. Sauce. Got Ricky Rubio, Laurie Marketing.
27.5. Bookies have got it at.
They got Sexland. Got Sexland down there. 27.5. You're going under.
I don't really know what else to say.
I'm going over.
If I'm talking prospects on there, they've got a few guys, obviously Sexton, Garland, Okoro, a few guys on there that are to watch out for. I'm not really sure who's the best out of them, but let's see how it pans out. They've never really been good at developing before. They got lucky that LeBron, came there and changed the fates of the franchise. So I don't really have much confidence in them building those young talents out. Be careful.
Fair enough.
Investing in Cleveland players.
I'm going over. I don't know why, but I am. Picked up Cole Lowry, PJ Tucker, and Markieff Morris. and the Heat lost Dragic, Achua, Ariza, Iguodala, Bielitsa, and Kendrick Nunn. We lost a fair few guys, but the Heat source over under on them.
Yeah. All right. Nice. The page just reloaded on me. 48.5. 48.5 is the number.
It's pretty high.
That's pretty high. It's pretty high.
I'm going
but
under.
disappointing last season. Disappointing last season. And I feel like it was a bit of a fall off. I feel like,
he's back. So
Hero will be out to prove a point. Bam Adebayo should be out to prove a point. And you got Kyle Lowry, which is a good addition. Great addition. I'm going to go.
Back,
he's back. Yeah, Mr. Bucket himself.
Second year blues. This is the problem with people that watch this sport. It's the problem with any sport. Adversity comes mainly in your second year because everyone knows how to defend you. In your first year, you're a surprise packet. And no one really understands what the schematics are to stop that person or do this because they're so focused on like Butler and Adebayo and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, it's Tyler Hero. It's like, this is a rookie. But second year, they're like, oh, we've got to put respect on it. And not for anything. He did have a poor season. I'm not saying he got defended. That's why he was terrible. He actually struggled. He actually went away in the offseason. He said he was going to work on his game. He worked on his game. He did. He put in the hard yards. Everyone thought he wasn't. He was going to be party
better hope
boy,
he is because you ain't signing redemption, so you better damn work on that game.
Yeah, 100%. But I reckon he's going to be much better. Much better. Ooh, Adam's saying that the Heat are coming out of the East. That's a big call.
I'm going to. That's what I mean. I was where I was going with this before you cut me off and went on your rant, but Miami Heat over 48.5. Give it to me. Lock it in, Doma. I'm going to go over 48.5. I think the Heat are coming back for a bit of redemption here. That's a massive fall from grace to make the NBA Finals and then, peter out the way that they did last season.
Was it fifth? We finished fifth, sixth.
Yeah, but you never really put together that sort of that run that you could.
Butler got
win
COVID.
games. Butler struggled. Yeah,
so he actually said he was visibly ill from post effects from COVID, and he struggled, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened. Hero wasn't that good. None got injured, and then None was struggling.
Adebayo went backwards. He started playing. He started playing laterally instead of straight lines to the basket. He's very good at getting to the basket and drawing fouls and driving and shooting that mid-range, and he went away from that last season. So I want to see that to come back, and I expect it to fully come back. And Kyle Lowry, mate, he's a championship player. So, there's a massive bolster in your point guard position. All right, next up.
Charlotte. They lost Devontae Graham, Cody Zeller, and Malik Monk. They picked up, let's go past their draft picks, Ish Smith, Kelly Oubre, Mason Plumlee, and Wes Iwundu.
38.5, the bookies have got him at. And sorry to tell you guys out there, or you LaMelo Ball investors, he's not going to save them from winning more than 38.5 games. I'm going the under.
Under. Anything you want to say out there, like just on the hobby around LaMelo going into his second year?
Just be careful. Be careful. Prices are very, very high. Very high. And we'll talk about it in a bit in another segment because we're going to bring him up. But just be careful if you're buying LaMelo cards. If you're looking to invest in LaMelo long term and think he's going to be a superstar, man, I could tell you right now is definitely a bad time to buy his cards because you are literally buying at the peak of the market. Some of the stuff that I'm seeing, it's actually pretty ridiculous. So yeah, we'll talk about it later though.
Next up, Atlanta added Gorgie Deng, DeLon Wright, Jalen Johnson with pick 20. They lost Chris Dunn and Tony Snell. Obviously, they had a epic run in the playoffs. Atlanta.
46.5.
Yeah,
they had him at 42.5 last season, and we said over, and they did get that.
Yeah.
So 46.5. You think that they're going to go over? I think. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, I don't know. They've added an extra 4 games. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Trae Young obviously showed that, he's a baller. He's going to be one of the better players in this league, through the next 10 years. But I'm gonna hint to the under here. I'm gonna hint to the under that Atlanta's gonna struggle a little bit. They're not.
Okay.
Their teams are gonna work them out a little bit. They had a good run last season. Trae Young, obviously, we know visibly, they have changed the rules. They have changed the rules. The way that they officiate that jumping into contact. You're not going to get those easy fouls. You're not going to get those easy free throws. And it's going to be more difficult for him. So I think that's going to affect their team a lot because, last season watching the Hawks a number of times, the way Trae Young drew fouls, it actually pissed me off because it's not basketball, man. Like the way that he was drawing fouls like that, it's just not natural to do those motions. But I feel like that's going to affect their gameplay because when they needed a bucket, he would just draw a foul and go to the free throw line. It was actually a bit of a joke. So
Exactly.
yeah.
All right, Sauce. We're going to try and breeze through some of these. Washington lost Westbrook, Len, Ish Smith, Bonga, Lopez. They got Aaron Holiday, Pope, Colwell Pope, Cole Kuzma, and Trez, and Dinwiddie. So where's their lineup? They've got some decent guys.
34.5. It's a tough one. I think they could.
I'm going to go over.
I reckon they can go over. They got Bradley Beal. Dinwiddie's not a scrub.
Rui, who's your mama?
Kuzma's okay. Let's hope that Rui Hachimura improves. So, yeah, look, I'm going to go over 34.5. All right, next up.
Over, we got Orlando. They got Jalen Suggs. They got Wagner with pick 8. They got pick 5, pick 8. And they got Robin Lopez. And they lost Otto Porter Jr. I disagree. I don't understand what this lineup is. This one I like. Someone's given up a starting lineup and they said it's going to be Suggs, Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, Chuma Akiki, and Wendell Carter Jr. I don't think it's going to be that. I think Suggs will probably be there. But anyway, besides the point, what's their line at, Sauce?
22.5.
I reckon they're going to be a surprise packet.
You like Cole Anthony? I've picked up a couple of his rookie cards on Star Stock.
I like RJ Hampton. I like RJ Hampton. I reckon Mo Bamba's. He looked good. We spoke about Mo Bamba, Sauce. We gave him as a bit of a play, as a guy to look at based on how well he played towards the end of the season, coming back from injury.
Yeah,
he had some big games. He dominated. He was just a monster on the boards, monster defensively.
I believe can shoot the 3 as well as a big man.
They got a nice young core around, growing in Orlando, and hopefully it's good signs. But I'm going over.
All right, you're going over. I'm going to go under, and that's only because they're young. It's only because they're young. They're going to get found out against some teams with more veterans, and they're going to struggle. I mean, if they do go over, they might just sneak over, get to 25 games or something like that. But it's going to be a line ball. But I'm going to go under. But I like some of the guys on the Orlando team. I think there's some talent. There's some sleepers there as well. So just keep an eye out.
Over to the West, Minnesota.
35.5 is their over and under.
It's in the West. It's too hard.
I'm going to go under.
Too hard. I'm not even
as much as Anthony Edwards is good. He's a good player. And look,
Cat's good as well.
Yeah, I just think people need to be wary. There was a lot of hype around Cat when he came into the league, and then it's fizzled out. He was like a top 3 pick, I believe. And what's any difference to Anthony Edwards? I understand he's the new shiny toy in the hobby, but just be mindful. Minnesota are a terrible franchise. They struggle all the time. They've literally been irrelevant since Kevin Garnett was there. Right? Let's be honest. Right? They've been irrelevant. Right? They've got no idea how to develop talent. So just be mindful when you're investing in Anthony Edwards, ladies and gents.
Done. All right. Next up, Utah lost Derek Favors and Niang, but picked up Hassan Whiteside, Rudy Gay, and Eric Paschal.
Just looking for them. Utah.
Some
Here we go.
decent
They got a
pickups.
52.5. I'm going to take the over every day of the week. Give me that. They're a good side.
Quinn
Good
Snyder,
all-round ball club.
I'm
Ball,
going
ball
over as
club.
well.
I'm going
I'm
over.
going over as well. All right.
Donovan Mitchell's a
Portland,
baller. Anyone
he's a
who's got
baller.
Donovan Mitchell cards, you should be a happy man. Let's just
Portland.
hope at the end of this contract he gets out of there so that
Portland picked
gets
up
more of a-
Marquise Chris, Macklemore, Patrick Patterson, Dennis Smith Jr., Tony Snell, Cody Zeller, and Larry Nance Jr. They lost Carmelo Anthony, Zach Collins, Harry Giles, Ennis Cantor, and Derek Jones.
44.5. Under. I'm going under.
I'm going under, and I'm going to say that Lillard's gone at the end of this season, so he won't be there next season. I don't give a shit what he says. Spend his time there, my ass. He's gone, mate.
Yeah, well, that's not what he says on his rap, so he's going to be a massive hypocrite if that's the case. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Oklahoma City with the Aussie Josh Giddey and your boy.
23.5.
23.5.
Yeah. Oh, that's super fair. That's super fair.
Missing something?
They struggled a lot last season. You're going to need guys like Lugan Dortz and SGA to, shoulder a lot of the workload. Giddey looked half decent. He looks a lot better than some of the other young guys that they got running around now. I feel like he should get some decent game time. We should see him develop nicely. The number 23.5. I'm flipping a coin on this. I don't really know. I think there has to be one of these teams that sits at around that 22, 23 that's going to surprise and get up there, win 30 games, but I don't think OKC, they're just so young. They are so young. I'm going to go under 23.5 games.
I'm going under because I'm listening to you, to be honest. I really haven't looked at Oklahoma.
They're so young.
Denver Nuggets picked up Jeff Green. They lost McGee and Millsap. Same team. Michael Porter Jesus.
48.5.
Carryover champ in the MVP space. Nikola Jokic. Steve's Collectibles, you guys getting the MetaZoo. I actually missed it. It got dropped.
Doma, you said you were gonna. Has it dropped, Steve?
Has it dropped? Does someone want to do a solid for Dom here at Double Coverage and gift him a box? The guy that actually kind of 3/4 believes in it. Don't worry about Sauce. He just. What's up, Steve? All the way from Canada. Love it. Absolutely love it. I am going to try and get a box. Just put that out there, just on a side note. But Denver Nuggets Sauce.
48.5 over under. I'm going under. They're going to struggle because no Jamal Murray for a portion of the season. Michael Porter Jesus, can he live up to his big contract and step up? I do not think he can. So I'm going to go under 48.5.
Says all different stores dropping at different time. Man, I'm going to look into it, Steve. Don't worry. I'll be ripping on this podcast. Thoughts on RJ Hampton, says Alex. I rate him.
Doma likes him. Alex, I think he's going to be a solid 3-and-D. That's as much as he's going to amount to in the league. He could be a better version of Danny Green. That's about all I see his ceiling. If I'm being honest. Yeah, I think the other guy, the guy on that team that has got more potential in terms of flair and being a number one guy on the team is Cole Anthony. So
I love Cole Anthony. So good. Next up, Sacramento.
36.5. Give us a bit of their rundown, Doma, and then we'll run through a few of these quick.
Picked up Tristan Thompson, Alex Len. They lost Whiteside and DeLon Wright. The starting five is like Darren Fox, Halliburton, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, and Rashawn Holmes. Got Buddy Hield on that team too.
36.5. I'm going under. I like Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's one of my guys that I just buy random cards that I see him pop up. I actually missed one of his immaculate on-card rookie collegiate autos. It ended up going for like $15. I was spewing. It was cheap. So cheap. But
I'm also going under on that. Next up, Golden State Warriors. They added Otto Porter Jr., Bielitsa, Iguodala. He's welcome back. Chris Chioza. They got the number 7 pick in Jonathan Kuminga, and they also got the number 14 pick in Moses Moody. They lost Bazemore, Oubre, and Paschal. They got Stephen Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson returns, Draymond Green at the power forward, and then either Kevon Looney or James Wiseman at the 5.
48.5 is the number, over under.
And they got the GOAT of all GOATs at the moment in Jordan Poole. So don't forget that. They're going in the West. I'm going over.
48.5. That's a tough one. Well, do we know the word on Clay? He's going to be halfway through the season or
January?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to go under. I still think they're going to struggle massively. I'm going to go under 48.5.
Alex said he feels people have cooled down on Halliburton. They have. All the eyes are on some of the other big rookies out there in Edwards and Ball and
Rightfully so. I mean, if you look at that team, are you taking Fox or Halliburton as a up and comer? If you're investing in the guy at Sacramento, I'm probably still tipping my hat to Fox.
Yeah.
So I didn't really watch. I can't judge Halliburton too much because I didn't really watch a lot of him. But that's more because the fact that he's on the Kings, man. Like, you told me last time the Kings were relevant, it was when Vlade Divac was there, and how long ago was that, right? So,
and that Mike Bibby, that's saying something. All right, Phoenix Suns up next. They got Alfred Payton, JaVale McGee, and Landry Shamet. They've added to their team, so obviously,
it'd be nice if I can find them.
We are 40 minutes into a preview. Jeepers creepers.
51.5 Doma. Over under. Gone over.
Under.
Gone over. Gone over.
I'm not spending time on them. Clippers. Got Moses Wright. They picked up Justice Winslow. Eric Bledsoe.
46.5. Under.
Under.
The bookies have got a 46.5, and it's been smashed into $1.62. So I'm just going with the punters.
I'm going over, but I don't think it's going to be like 50. I reckon they could win 48 games.
Well, it's going to be tough. There's no timeline on Kawhi. Don't
worry about Kawhi Leonard, mate. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going.
He's injured.
I'm changing.
He's injured, mate, and there's no timeline on him. They haven't given us anything.
Sorry. All right, next up, your boys, the Lakers. They picked up Westbrook, Ellington, Nunn, Bazemore, Ariza, Monk, Rondo, Carmelo, DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Howard.
Just got a whole new team. 53.5, Doma. 53.5. I'm cutting you off. I'm going over.
I'm going under. You can't win it. I'm just telling you. That's just my opinion. Probably wrong.
Mate, if LeBron brings Westbrook to a title, this will be his greatest ever title because Westbrook is absolutely allergic to the playoffs.
How many times do I have to tell you? LeBron could do whatever the freaking hell he wants, and he'll never be put above Jordan or anything like that in his career. So it doesn't matter. He could win 25 titles and it mean nothing. Dallas Mavericks are up next. Luka the Don.
Luka the Don. Dallas Mavericks 48.5. They shipped out Josh Richardson. It's probably a good move.
They picked up someone, yeah. Sorry. My thing's just so slow. They picked up no one really. They lost Redick and Richardson. They picked up Reggie Bullock, Sterling Brown, Frank Ntilikina, and Moses Brown. So not for anything. Their team's identical. The same. So how many games they won last year, which I think it was 47 or 48.
It's tough. I'm going to go under.
I'm going under as well. Next, we got the Grizzlies with one player that's tipped to be the breakout star of the season.
41.5. They got
41.5.
It's a big number. It's a decent number.
I'm putting faith in them all.
Right on 500. Let's go. I'm going over.
I'm going over.
Ja Morant come out and have a massive year. Massive year. JJJ steps up and pulls up his socks like I've always thought that he has that potential.
San Antonio Spurs.
Spurs. The number is at 29.5.
I'll tell you what. They lost DeRozan, Mills, Gay, Gorgie Jiang, Trey Lyles, Quindary Witherspoon, and Daquan Jeffries. They're pretty much their starting lineup is going to be like DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Doug McBuckets, Calvin Johnson, and Jacob Poeltl. I'm going under 29.5.
Under.
If they win more than 29.5, it is a massive overachievement, and it just comes down to great chemistry and great coaching by Pop. As simple as that.
Yeah, Calden is their best, Alex. I agree. He's a good player. He's one to watch out for. Definitely, if you're looking at cards.
Can you imagine if Luka the Don goes down with? I hope not, but I'll tell you what. If they do, Dallas is pretty much a lottery team. That's how bad they are. I don't care what they are. Horrendous.
I mean, that might actually help them because they'll get a good draft pick. Then they might be able to use that draft pick to bring in another star.
Or the draft pick could be as good as Luka, and then they can get rid of Porzingis and trade him for something. All right, next we've got Houston Rockets, which have got a nice little team.
Yeah, 27.5, and I'm liking what they're formulating down there at the Rockets. Obviously, there's a few guys that need to
absolutely
loose units. Let's just could say that.
To say the least.
Yeah, so I like what they're going on about, but I still think they'll struggle with the 27.5.
And then the Pelicans with Zion, who looks like he's 4 times the size.
39.5 over under.
Oh, they picked up Jonas Valanciunas and Devontae Graham. They lost Steven Adams, Lonzo Ball, and Eric Bledsoe. Is
Devontae Graham really an upgrade over Lonzo Ball?
No.
Like, they struggled on defense already, and Lonzo Ball was a lot better defender than Devontae Graham, better shooter, better passer. No regress. Under 39.5. I think they're going to struggle.
All right, just quickly on this one. Does he leave if they do nothing? Zion. I'm talking about Zion here. I don't care about anyone else in his team.
Yeah, surely.
And based on the size that he put on in the offseason source, and he's injury prone, is it safe to say that we're on the money when we said that his comp was Sean Kemp?
Yeah. He needs to lose weight, man. He got to lose weight.
Did you see his Mountain Dew commercial?
Yeah, but I feel like they spiced him on that.
Yeah,
I feel like they added a bit of spice, man. They edited that in Adobe.
No, but it was just fun. No, but it was just funny. He came back in media day and he looked massive, and then the same day a Mountain Dew commercial drops. It's like, well, you can see why he put on all this weight because they've changed his water taps to Mountain Dew at his home, mate. So that's literally what it's become. He's plumbing.
Mountain Dew's the best damn drink on this planet, all right? So don't you damn.
I'm not bagging it. I'm not bagging it. I'm bagging Zion. It's just I hope he does well because we love him here. We absolutely love him. But
you know how much I love Zion. I think he's going to be a gun. But I do stress a little bit still about this issue because I just don't. It's not going to. It might be fine for the first 5 years of his career, 6 years. It's when it starts to get to the latter part of his career, once he gets 26, 27, peak parts of your career. You get a bit older, it takes a bit more to recover and everything. Like, that extra weight's not going to help him. So, look, we'll see how that develops. But there was already whispers that he's not happy already. He wants out, wants to go to New York. So I really feel if they don't put the pieces around him, because he's a generational talent. He's a guy that you have to plan for because he's unstoppable when he goes to the ring, and then he's able to make the plays. So I'll be interested to see how he develops this season, whether he starts taking some more outside shots, what the goal is. They did a lot of last season where they put the ball in his hands coming up the court, allowed him to make decisions, which was really impressive to see. People forget that Zion used to be a point guard back in high school or back in his middle school days. So, Yeah, it would be interesting, but I am worried a little bit, but I'm going to go under the 39.5.
I'm under as well. Eastern Conference final, Eastern Conference champion.
I'm going to go the Bucks. Bucks.
I'm going Bucks. Western Conference champion.
Lakers, baby. Lakers.
I actually don't know who I'm picking in the West.
Lakers, man.
I'm gonna go Lakers. Stop it.
We're out for revenge, mate.
Who's winning the title?
Lakers. I always go with my boy LeBron, mate. I'm never going to go against him.
I'm going Bucks. Bucks win it. They go back to back.
Lakers, baby.
Alex says he's blimped out like a whale. Zion.
I'll tell you, the Mountain Dew commercial was pretty fucking funny. I'm just going to say, man, it was hilarious. I was pissing my pants. I watched it on YouTube. It was hilarious.
It was very funny. All right. That's our season preview. Lakers Miami says Adam. Lakers win. If it's Lakers Miami, mate, it's not happening again. That was like, honestly, it was a once in a lifetime. The first year we started this podcast, and Sauce and I's like our NBA teams met up in the finals. It was honestly the best thing.
It was perfect.
I don't think it's going to happen again. I'm not saying my team's terrible, they're not good enough. I just think the Bucks are too good. All right, let's move on to the Premier League. We're just going to go through the fixtures for this week. All your soccer needs, Soccer Card Collective. Get on there. They've got plays, info, everything. They bag Pepe they bag the American player. It's happy days. Anyway. This week's schedule: Watford versus Liverpool, Villa versus Wolves, Leicester versus United, City versus Burnley, Norwich versus Brighton, Southampton, Leeds, Brentford, Chelsea, Everton, West Ham, Newcastle, Spurs, and then Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. You reckon you got a chance this week, Sauce?
We'll struggle against Crystal Palace. I think it's a home game. We should win. We've been putting on better performances at home, so let's see.
All right, let's go to F1. We had the Turkish Grand Prix. Sauce. It was a banger. This was a great.
It was a good race. Great race. Very good race.
Winner Valtteri Bottas pretty much led from start to finish. He led 48 laps out of the 57. Like, give or take, the guy in front of him had to stop. But fantastic race by him. Very well done. Red Bull knew that they didn't have, the pace. So for Max Verstappen to finish second, where he had some issues throughout the race, was a massive achievement for them. They got Sergio Perez on the standings as well, which is fantastic. Also, James said Bucks are going to retire the whole Lakers team in the final. So I don't disagree with that. Any comment on this? There was obviously another blunder here by Mercedes Sauce. They didn't listen to Lewis.
Yeah, look, this is the thing, because we gave Lando a hard time the other week when he didn't listen to his team about it being wet and everything. And now that the shoe's on the other foot, it's, in Lewis's, camp, and he was saying that they should have stayed out, and his team saying it's raining, you should come in and put the wets on. Then he did that, and it sort of cost him 2 positions, so he ended up finishing 5th, I think.
Yeah.
5th, and he could have finished 3rd. So, look, yeah, it is another stuff up, and it's funny that it's happened again. They've had some earlier in the season, but also, it's a tough one, because it could have been much similar what happened to Lando, where he didn't listen, and yeah, it could have been worse. So, look, it was a good race overall. Bottas, clinical, didn't make any mistakes. His team was good for him. For a change, he wasn't the second fiddle. He was first on the day, so they served him that way. And yeah, it was an entertaining race. There was overtakes everywhere. Verstappen was good.
Mate. He was good.
Yeah,
Charles Leclerc, very good as well. No, Charles finished 4th.
I think he finished 4th.
Yeah, 4th.
Yeah.
He's unlucky. Next up is the Mexican or the United States Grand Prix. That's in 2 weeks, so we'll preview that next
week.
week. Just to the constructors, Mercedes on top, followed by Red Bull. So they're about 40 points apart, and then McLaren and Ferrari 7.5 points apart, and then the rest are just paying for. I don't know what they're driving for, to be honest, those teams. Then over to the World Championship. So as Saul said, that 5th position finish for Hamilton instead of the 3rd. So if Hamilton finished 3rd, it would have been a 1-point lead from Max Verstappen. Finishing in 5th, Max has taken a 6-point lead. Now, people might not think that is significant, but with 5 races left, Alex, he's asked in the comments, there's 5 races left. It can be significant because if Max wins a race and extends the lead again, not for anything, the way you got to look at it is he can afford to finish 2nd to Lewis in a race. He can afford that. So I don't know. It's very interesting, Source. I don't know what's going to happen. They do push the limits a bit in the last races, especially those guys that are up there. You're going to see Lewis Hamilton force the issue in the next 5 races, and you're going to see Max Verstappen have to try and defend potentially his first World Championship crown. So it's going to be very interesting. This is the best time for racing, the last 5 weeks of the season. So stay tuned for that, and we'll preview the race next week. All right, so also a bit of UFC. Was there a card during?
Yeah, there was a card over the weekend. Next card is coming up this weekend, but we'll go over the results from the main card. You had Christian Gutierrez, a 3rd-round decision over Felipe Colares in the bantamweight division. Women flyweight division, you had Maria Agapov defeating Sabina Mazo with 3rd-round submission in the women flyweight. And then in the men's flyweight division, you had Matu Nikolai defeating Tim Elliott, 3rd-round decision. Welterweight division, you had Randy Brown defeating Jared Gooden, 3rd-round decision. And then the main event, you had women's strawweight, Marina Rodriguez defeating Mackenzie Durham, 5th-round decision, went all the way to the judges' scorecards. And then you have this weekend, UFC Fight Night, Ladd versus Dumont. You got Ladd versus Dumont. The next Fight Night week is a good one. So I'll mention that in a second. But yeah, you've got a range of fights on this weekend. This Sunday, there's no official time here that says when it kicks off, so I don't really know. So you'll have to follow that up with your local guides. But the following weekend, we've got UFC Fight Night, Costa versus Vittori. The Italian stallion is back against Paulo Costa. That's one to look in for. Middleweight division, that should be a good fight. So excited for that one. That's on the 24th of October, but there's also fights this weekend.
Alex says he can't get into UFC. He's too old school. So so that means you're into boxing. That's what I'm taking. We saw Fury just touch.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that for a second, Dom. I watched the fight. I'm not sure if you tuned in.
No, I was watching Twitter updates in terms of
there we go.
mini
So
clips.
yeah, I watched the fight. There was yeah, I'm not gonna say paid for the fight on main event, of course. And Fury was just too clinical. Wilder didn't look any different to what he'd done in previous fights. Fury, albeit he was rocked at times, just came out with a flurry of punches, knocked him out. So, the previous fights went to distance. The other first fight went the distance, was called a draw. Second fight went the distance, and, Fury was out and out the winner. And then this fight, he's knocked him out. So just, put the trilogy to bed. Wilder's career is pretty much done at the top level. I don't think we'll ever see him fight for any belts again. Seriously, I think it's seriously done. I wonder what happens now to Deontay Wilder, where he goes from here. He's always been like a bit of a scrapper. Never really had the boxing prowess or the finesse. He's just had a right hammer that if it connects, it's tough to get up from. But Fury showed that he can get up from that hammer. So he met his match, and Tyson Fury onto who is the other bloke, the Ukrainian bloke that won the previous fight against Joshua. Yeah, so those two should definitely fight and obviously battle off to unify the titles after Joshua gets his rematch. Joshua always, puts his rematch clause into the contract, so he'll get a rematch. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, Fury too good. It's really the only boxing that I sort of follow at all.
There you go. Alex said that he misses the good old days of Tank, Abbott, Shamrock just smashing the living crap out of each other. Fair enough. All right, so let's move on to some NFL. Let's get through week 5. We had Rams defeating the Seahawks with Russell Wilson getting injured in this game, 26-17. Jets Falcons in London. Falcons got the win 27-20. Vikings defeated the Lions 19-17. To 17. Saints defeated Washington 33-22. Patriots defeated Texans 25-22. Dolphins got smacked by the Buccaneers 45-17. Brady had 400 plus yards and 5 TDs for the first time in his career. Of course, it's against the Dolphins. Packers defeat the Bengals. Unlucky for Joey B in that one, 25-22. Broncos were defeated by the Steelers.
They could have won that game.
19. Yeah, they should have won that game. Eagles defeated the Panthers 21-18. So 2 in a row loss for the Panthers. Titans defeated the Jags 37-19. Browns lost to the Chargers 47-42 in what was a ripping game. This one. Bears defeated the Raiders 20-9. 49ers lost to the Cardinals 17-10. So 5-0 start for Cardinals. They're the only undefeated team. The Cowboys destroyed the Giants 44-20. Bills beat the Chiefs 38-20. And the Colts lost to the Ravens 31-25 because they don't know how to kick the ball through the sticks. The Colts, they stunk it up. Anything you want to touch on there, Sauce? Any games? I'm not going to talk about my boys.
Kyler Murray, Arizona Cardinals, chugging along. To say we've got that division absolutely ballsed up at the start of the season with the preview is an understatement. They are faring very well to win that division, and I expect them. They're looking completely different team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've improved a lot. So, I'm really liking that Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray's shown that he's a top talent quarterback. So, good luck to Kyler Murray investors out there that bought up his cards. Josh Allen over the Bills. Josh Allen over the Chiefs. The Bills over the Chiefs. Massive win. Chiefs struggling a little bit. I did say put them in to win their division as a banker in your multis at the beginning of the season. They'd want to start clicking over soon because they've struggled in the last few weeks. They're 2-3. They need to put together a winning run. He's up there. He's up there.
James.
He's up there, James, for sure. He's up there. And you know who else is up there? Is the man that plays for the Chargers, and that's Justin Herbert. He's living up to the hype. I had someone mention across the Instagram stories compared him to Carson Wentz, saying he's essentially Carson Wentz because 2 years into his career, Carson Wentz is very, very, if you go look at their numbers,
I know.
Their numbers are very similar 2 years into their career. And Carson Wentz obviously fell off a cliff for a number of reasons. So, interesting to see where he goes from here. I think Herbert's better than Carson Wentz for the record. So I'm not going out here and saying, but all I'm saying is their numbers were very similar. So can he go on from here and, establish himself as a top, 5-6 quarterback in the league? I really think he can. So yeah, that's an interesting one. And then just as I mentioned before, two things. Seahawks could be done for the season if Russell Wilson's broken his finger and can't throw the
He
ball
got
and it affects
surgery.
his
I think
throw.
he's out. I think he's out for 5 weeks.
Yeah, their season's
They're
done.
finished.
So they're done. That's all right because he will and be out of the
He's
Seahawks
not.
at
He'll
the
be
end of the
gone.
season. He'll be gone. And Bengals should have done better. Should have won that game. My boy Joey Burrow copping it again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he
I
was
mean,
unlucky. Aaron Rodgers
yeah,
has got lucky in a few games this season,
he
Sauce.
has. He has. So a bit of smoke and mirrors with the Packers. Yeah, they're 4-1, but
My prediction was them to win the Super Bowl, and to I don't think it's going to happen. From what I've watched 2 of their games, I didn't catch the Bengals one. I caught red zone on the Bengals one, and they were very lucky. But the 2 games I watched, they weren't convincing.
that's what I think, man. I think there's that's
So,
the case, man. So yeah,
Cowboys
and the other ones, there's
chugging
not
along,
really
mate.
too much to mention. You hate on the Cowboys, but they're playing very well.
Trayvon,
So
shout out to Trayvon Diggs. He's had 1 or more interceptions in 5 straight games on the defensive side of the ball
it's
for
very good.
Dallas.
It's
So
very good.
that's amazing. Good
And
stuff.
Monday Night
Interesting.
Football, the Colts should have won.
Should have won
But
this stuff.
I'm not unhappy because my boy Lamar led the comeback and had an absolutely game for the ages. 37 of 43. People say he can't throw the ball. 37 completions out of 43. That's over 80%. So stick that one in your clacker. And 4 TDs. If you don't mind, led the comeback. 16 points in the last quarter. How about that? All right.
Pretty
So
good effort.
don't rag on my boy Lamar.
Already up to week 7 as well in the season. Week 6. It is flying. We got Buccaneers at Eagles, Dolphins at Jag. Surely we can win and go to 2-4.
I'll tell you what, if you lose to the Jags,
pack it
you
up.
got to cop it on the show next week.
Pack it up. Chiefs at Washington. That's not going to be an easy one. Rams at New York. Texans at Colts. Surely you win this week. If you don't beat the Texans, then you're copping on the show as well. Bengals at Lions. Packers at Bears. Chargers at Ravens. That's going to be a ripper. Vikings at Panthers. Cardinals at Browns. Raiders at Broncos. Cowboys at New England. Seahawks at Steelers, which that game is going to be no good now. Juju Smith-Schuster is also out for the season. Bills at Titans on Monday Night Football. So teams
Cardinals,
on the
Browns,
bye.
cracking game.
Teams on the bye. Falcons, Saints, Jets, 49ers. There you go, Sauce. All right.
Nice.
I don't know which way. Are you going homegrown for the Lamont of the week, or are you going the other person? I need to know.
Home. We're going home.
Okay. All right. Since we're doing that, let's touch on Gruden now during NFL.
Yep.
Not great. Simple as that.
Not great. Yeah.
Not great
Look,
at all. You gotta go. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. There's hard proof. A lot of people come out and said, "Oh, but Deshaun Watson hasn't gone, and he's got 31 cases against him for sexual assault and stuff like that." Yeah, I understand. He's another lemon, but there's cold, hard evidence. At the moment, it's rumor and innuendo for him, and it's like hearsay until he's proven guilty. John Gruden, it was right there. The facts are right there. I'm not saying what Deshaun Watson did. Just a disclaimer, anyone listening, what he did wrong as well. But John Gruden, all the facts are there. It's in emails. He had to go 4 years into his 10-year deal with the Vegas Raiders, and it's done. Just like that, the Buccaneers actually kicked him out of their Ring of Honor this morning or yesterday evening here, our time. So if you don't know, he won the Buccaneers a Super Bowl. So not great. Not great at all. And to say on it, it's
I don't really know.
Yeah,
look, I don't want to touch too much on it, but I'm not going to go into the whole side of it, but do a bit of research. There are people that have done a bit more digging. John Gruden, although what is worded to come out that he has said within emails is probably not warranted. but a little bit of it is that he may be a bit of a scapegoat behind the whole bigger picture of it, because they don't want the people who are also involved in the email chain to come out and them to fall, because they're more higher profile people, and it would be worse for the sport. So,
I'm
do
John
with it
Gruden,
what
mate.
you will.
If I'm Gruden and I'm going down for being a lemon, then I'm taking the lemon tree down with me, mate.
Yeah, but there could also be a bit of,
I know.
Grudes, just take this one. We'll pay you out the rest of your 6 years on your contract. Don't worry, we can afford it. Shut up. Don't say anything, because if you say something, it's going to be
there's a lot of
worse,
that crap that
right?
does happen.
So there's a bit of that going on. So just do with it what you will. Do your research. He might be a bit of a scapegoat, but regardless, what he did say within the email chain's not warranted. So it is what it is. He's gone. But yeah, that's just my sort of word that I found after looking into it a little bit. So yeah, that could be the case. Not saying it is, not saying 100% it is, but it could be the case, and we'll never know. That's the thing, we'll never know. So we'll always just be it could be speculating. So we're gonna have to just take it off face value. But anyway, there's always a bit more to read between the lines, as they say.
You do the crime source, you do the time. Unfortunately, there goes his job. It is done and dusted. All right, now let's move on to the Le Mans of the week. This one's near and dear to you.
All right, Doma, what was that? The AFL season finished, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. 52-year drought, 52, 57, something like that. 50-plus year drought.
Since 64, so whatever that is, 57 years.
57-year drought broken by the Melbourne Demons. Unbelievable moment in history for Demons supporters, for Melbourne supporters. They've won a grand final first time in 57 years. Everyone is happy as Larry. People want something to remember their famous win, coming out victorious in the 2021 AFL Premiership season. So you go out there, you might buy a card, you might buy a signed jersey from player or players, you might buy a signed ball, in fact, signed AFL ball with all the players on there, which is what some people did try to do. They seen that these balls were going for about $700, so they bought it, signed by the whole team. A great piece of memorabilia signed by the whole team, $700. AFL replica Sharon got the track. Got the Gorney on there. Got got Spargs on there. Got Spargs on there.
Got Sauce Oliver.
Yeah, got Oliver on there. Got them all, mate. Right, $700. They get it. They're so happy they get it. They message Charlie Spargo, DM him on Instagram. Happens to be that sends a photo and says, "Oh, I got this ball. I've got this ball signed of you." Da 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 da. And Charlie responds back, going, "Hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm actually number 9, not number 8. I've never signed anything as number 8 in my life." Right? He goes, "No, this is actually what happened." He goes, "I've never signed anything as number 8, right? I think you may have been stitched up." That's what Charlie Spargo responded back to a Melbourne Demons fan who thought that they had spent $700 on a real piece of AFL Grand Final memorabilia that was signed by the whole team, right? Now, this is only one person. There was quite a few of these. I don't know how many there was going around. But
who's this linking to?
But the bloke who has put this absolute scam and con job together is none other than Ricky Nixon, former player agent Ricky Nixon. If you don't know anything about him, just type in Ricky Nixon, AFL player agent on Google. Read up some of the absolute stupidity this man has done in the past. He's by far an absolute imbecile. But he's put together this con job, and he's put together a whole bunch of these footies and sold them at $700 a pop,
So what's he
$600
done?
or $700.
He signed them himself.
I don't know, but
done?
he's not only is
He
he
probably
signed the
he probably
balls.
got the bloody the St Kilda schoolgirl back into bloody sign crap for him. What's going on?
Well, Doma, all I know is that these people, there's now a lawsuit going on because there was, I don't know how many there was, but it was quite a few, right? So there was thousands of dollars. I think there might, I don't know how many it was, but I think there was like over 30 or 40 balls, maybe 50. I don't really know, right?
Bloody hell.
So $600 a pop. He's stitched these people up. Former player agent Ricky Nixon, right, has signed fake balls and then sold them off as official memorabilia for Melbourne Demons winning the grand final, 57 breaking 57-year drought. Wow. Ricky Nixon for being an absolute flog and conning the good people that are the Melbourne Demons supporters who have waited so long to celebrate this jubilant moment in history. And you've conned them by giving them fake signed balls and making them pay $700 for it. Ricky Nixon, you are a lemon. Wow.
I can't believe this guy.
Lemon Nixon.
How does this not surprise me?
It shouldn't surprise you because Ricky Nixon, let's be honest.
It doesn't. It doesn't. If there's anything that goes wrong in the AFL world, if it's a scam or a con job, this guy is the poster boy of idiocy in society when it comes to this stuff. Like, my god, that's so unbelievable.
For that, Doma, he's called the lemon of the week because now he's going through a lawsuit and
he's in a lawsuit. He's like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving doesn't play, and Ricky Nixon is in a lawsuit every other year. It's just what is happening? Unbelievable.
He's a lemon.
He's a lemon.
Ricky,
all right,
you're a lemon.
Let's get over to Hobby Talk, brought to you by Cardladder.
Imagine everything you love about the hobby in the palm of your hand. An entire store at your fingertips. Everything you need to know about cards is within your grasp. Unlock the secrets of the hobby. Plus, so much more. You don't have to imagine anymore. It's here. Cardladder. Get the app today.
If you want the Cardladder app, affiliate link in the description. Click on it, sign up. The best tool in the game. All right, Saucy. You said it at the top of the show. They're kind of back in the good books. Our old buddies down there, old CardPorn, they haven't messaged us in a while. A bit of separation anxiety for myself. So I was like, I get a bit sad they're not messaging me and they're not calling out Anth and doing shit like that and trying to justify why they're calling out people. And to me, which CardPorn should already know, and as you know, Sauce, there's no point telling us this stuff to justify because we blatantly don't give a flying fuck. So there's no point anyway. But they're back in the good books because they're going back to what CardPorn actually is. Breaks, big hits,
big pulls, good
great
reactions
moments in the hobby, and helping people in the hobby. Not slandering all different areas of the hobby, whether it's F1 or soccer or this and that. Actually helping people. Getting these scammers, making people in the hobby community aware of these scammers, and getting them. I don't care that they tell them to go out there and create a witch hunt against these accounts, because the person behind this account during the week at Everlast 8 Everlast 24, so that's the number 8 Everlast and then 24, so Kobe's number at the front and at the back, 8 and 24. Mate, he's the king. This guy's the king. He got called out.
He's an absolute grub, Doma.
He's the king of the scams, this idiot. And so much pressure got put on this guy that he's packing it, mate. He started shitting himself. which it's good that he shit himself. And the guy that actually sold the Tom Brady that he got scammed out of, his own card, actually got his Tom Brady card back, which is fantastic. So CardPorn's done a great service to the hobby. Everyone in the community has rallied behind this person, rallied with CardPorn and said, "No, enough's enough. We don't want this shit in our hobby. We've got to get this sorted," and rightly so. And they're trying to fix it. I want to try and get the first one up here so I can talk to you about it, because I don't want.
But it's good to see that they're back to their old ways, Dom, man. They're talking about their old ways of the account when we first started. The thing is, when we first started this show, CardPorn was very, very new. We were talking about CardPorn on this show when they had 1,000 followers, 1,200 followers, and I said, Dom, this account's really good because they're helping people in the hobby, right? And this is what we said when they do good things in the hobby, and we say to follow them and, you know, look at what they say, right? Because there are times where they really do help people, and this is one of those occasions where they've been able to get this, you know, Tom Brady card back, and then now they've found out that there's a number of other guys that they've scammed, that this account has scammed in the hobby, and now obviously they're going to try help them get their cards back, hopefully. So yeah, speak on it now, Dom.
This is another. It's a triple Le Mans. You got Gruden, Ricky, Dickie Nixon, and you got old 8 Everlast 24 here. This is the lemon in question. This fella right here. So I'm going to read you a bit about it, so you get a bit of an understanding of what this guy's done. Some of the cards.
Instagram account up, and you're just showing the post.
Just showing the post for anyone that's listening and not viewing. But if you want to see who this person is, if you're following this person, 8 Everlast 24. I know I've said it 100 times, but the reason why I'm saying the account 100 times is because if you're following this person, block him and unfollow him. That's the gist of it all. All right, so apparently Danny Gold, who is this guy, 8 Everlast 24, has been telling people who should be given an opportunity to tell his side of the story. Let's make it clear there is no his side. There is the truth. Then there is whatever BS story that Gold makes up to get away with another scam. Completely agree. His scams run the gambit of theft, mail fraud, wire fraud, card alteration, signature alteration, eBay and PayPal scams. He's been scamming for 15 years or more. So if anyone has any sympathy for this bloke, you're going on the lemon tree alongside him. So CardPorn says, we just learned of another scam where Gold stole a card from Dummkopf cards, so DUMMKOPF cards, worth close to $200,000. We're not playing with pocket change here, ladies and gents. This is what you need to understand. We're not playing with $200 to $500 a card. We're talking $200,000 we're playing with. Let alone scamming someone out of $200 to $500 is wrong also. But what I'm trying to say is I'm talking about
I'm damn pissed off when I got scammed out of $40. All right?
Yeah, 100%. Rightfully so. No, but what I'm saying is the magnitude of what this guy's been doing over 15 years, I'm giving a bit of context, is if it's one $200,000 card, just imagine the other
what he's got away with for 15 years.
Yeah, this deal was negotiated on Instagram, where Dummkopf Cards agreed to trade his 2000 Brady SPA, which is this bad boy here. I'm going to bring it up. Bang, right there. SP Authentic. PSA 10. Obviously, there's the code at the top there. Numbered 1185 out of 1250 for Gold's 2012 NT RPA Kawhi BGS 95 plus 3.5K. So Dump mailed the Brady card and Gold sent the funds by PayPal. However, Gold failed to send the Kawhi card. Gold then claimed he never received the Brady card, despite FedEx confirming the package was delivered. Unfortunately for Dumpf, he didn't know about Gold's scamming history, so gave him the benefit of the doubt and returned the 3.5K. On 8th of February this year, Gold shared a post on Instagram. Here's the post on Instagram of the 2000 Brady SP Authentic PSA 10. Within this photo, sorry for people that aren't viewing, Gold covered up the PSA serial number with white tape. As you can see up here, Sauce. He actually put a bit of white out on there. Because Gold is a dumb crook, he failed to cover up the unique PSA barcode on the label. right here. It's the same for the 2000. This barcode is the same for the 2000 Brady SP Authentic PSA 10. Yes, the same Brady card Gold said he never received. Gold has blocked Dumpkoff's card and deleted the Brady Instagram post. Then we exposed him yesterday. Another version of the card number sold for 181K. So it's obviously a higher serial number, 1240 out of 1250 in March. Apparently, Gold lives in Playa del Rey, California. I know someone in California that can go sort this out. Given everything under the penal code 487 PC, Gold theft of Brady's card constitutes felony grand theft, punishable by jail time. So I don't know if there's anything else in here. Here's the thing. That's what the last sold was. He actually went through. There's thanking CardPorn. This is good. So he's literally gone through and he started deleting a whole bunch of posts. Obviously, you can see he had 7,000 followers here, dropped to 6,900. And as you can see, the posts here are 136 posts on his page. It's almost half of his posts, or over half, or no, less than half.
So how many of those
posts
he deleted were scams?
have deleted with scams. So this is 15 years of scamming, ladies and gents. Terrible stuff. And this video here is of Dumpkoff's cards opening up his FedEx package, and thankfully enough, bang, there it is. Back in his possession.
Yeah, well done,
That's great to see.
Well done, all parties and I'm not talking, Everlast because you're a flog. But CardPorn and then Dumpkoff cards, being able to get his card back. But this is what we want to see, and this is what CardPorn was made for. Like this is what they're all about, and this is what we were saying. They're a good account to follow when they're doing the other stuff, trying to call out F1 for being a pump and dump. Soccer and tennis was another one. They're just trying to consider that every other sector of the hobby that's not NBA, NFL, or baseball is a pump and dump. Apparently, that's the shit that sort of grinds our gears. But this sort of stuff, it's good to see. It's brilliant, and we like it because
big win.
We need this sort of stuff, right? Because although the percentage of scammers it's small, it does ruin the hobby. And this is just one thing, Doma, because we can, as we come off this and we go into another topic on scamming, but there was, I don't know if you're across the Australian Facebook pages this week, there was a whole bunch of group breakers that got scammed a hell of a lot of money from some guy who promised them a large amount of stock, and they sent over the money, and then he was just a middleman to another guy in the US who was supposed to get him the stock, and then it all fell through. So now there's a lot of people out of thousands of dollars of money and out of pocket with no stock. So although the scammers, it's minute, there are some out there that will try at every opportunity to catch you off guard. And that's where you as a collector, you as someone in the hobby, need to do your due diligence and make sure that you vet these people, make sure that you're, saving yourself from getting scammed. So, in that case, I don't really know the ins and outs of the situation, but, you'd want to hope if you're handing over tens of thousands of dollars for cases of product, that the guy is legit or has some sort of form of business that you can go after if it were the case that, he is trying to, scam you, or you're paying that money through PayPal so that there's a chargeback feature, or you're paying it through a credit card so you can potentially charge back through your credit card, something like that. So you got to make sure that you do your research, vet these people, and save yourself the hassle from getting scammed, because it really does put a sour taste in your mouth. I've been scammed, I think 3 times, never anything really big. I think the most is $40. And $15 and like $20 or something like that, really small scams, but it's just shit, because these people, they might run a sale or whatever it may be, and then they just pack up shop and delete the post and never send you the cards, and you may have sent it friends and family for $20 or $30 and you don't get the card. So in this case, where it's like thousands and thousands of dollars of product and money, I would be doing a lot more due diligence. So just be mindful out there. And then on that note, another scam which has been pulled on someone I know. I'm not going to mention the person, but there was like a Instagram account that was pretending to be a hobby shop in America. They have like 20,000 followers. They put the actual hobby shop's name and website and everything on the Instagram account, and they pretend to be this shop, and they put their address and everything, and then they say that they'll sell you product and whatever. And their thing is like, if it's under $1,000 or something, they only do friends and family, or under $2,000, they only do friends and family. They try to get you to pay friends and family. You pay them friends and family, and then obviously they don't send you the product, and then the account on Instagram disappears a day later. So it will might be there for a day or 2 days after you pay them, and then it disappears, and then you don't hear from them, and then you've been scammed. So just be mindful that even with people that you're maybe making a deal with on Instagram, they might have a large following, so they seem like they're more legit. So they got 6,000, 7,000. In this case, this hobby store, this person pretending that they were a hobby store, had 20,000 followers. Don't forget, you can always buy followers on Instagram for a small fee, and it's not much, and you can get a shitload of followers. So just be careful. Even this case, be careful about even selling to larger accounts. If you've got some people that you do trust that may be following them or not, and may have done deals with them, maybe get them to vouch. Look for alternative methods of getting verification that this person's all right to deal with, especially across Instagram. And as much as if you've had dealings with them before, or there are some people out there that don't take goods and services on PayPal, that's understandable. They better hope that they've got the vouchers to back that up, and a lot of people out there do. But if they don't, and they don't want to accept goods and services, then just turn away from the deal. So that's sort of there for you to protect yourself. If you can't get the appropriate vouchers, then you want to pay goods and services, and they refuse that option, then just turn away from the deal. And always the case, if something seems too good to be true, it most likely is. Then you hear the people say that so many times, but the people that I've heard got scammed doing deals over Instagram with people who they think are legit and have a large following, and then they turn around and get scammed. And I asked them, what did you buy and what did you pay? And it ends up being a card for way too cheap. And I was like, man, that's too good to be true. You should have had the red flags right there and then. If he's trying to sell you a card that costs $1,000 for $500, and there's recent comps at $1,000 or more, there's got to be a red flag there, ladies and gentlemen. So, just keep your mind, really think it through. And always, there are people out there to get a second opinion off. So just hold off on the deal. Don't feel pressured into it. Ask someone else. Ask me. Ask Doma. Ask someone else you might trust in the hobby, and just be like, oh, I'm going to buy this off this guy. What do you think? This is the price. He's telling me this much. He doesn't want me to pay goods and services. And, maybe that will give you an opinion that you may not have thought of. And this is why we've got each other in the hobby, so 100%. We can help each other. So yeah, just be wary out there, ladies and gentlemen, because the scammers are in full force at the moment.
100% Sauce. We've said it a heap of times, Sauce. Like you just said, doors are always open, DMs are always open. Sorry, you can always message us and we'll get back to you. And as we've always said as well, if we can't give you the answer, we sure as hell will know someone that can give you the answer. We've made that many friends in the hobby now, and they'd be happy to take a question from us, or even if we direct you towards them as well, they'll be happy to help. Just a quick one, Sauce, before we move on a bit more, just in case people don't hear it. If we say it midway through Hobby Talk, more than likely someone will listen to this on the podcast. But a quick update on the HGA Bulk Sub. We didn't mention it last week because on Friday last week, we had to shut it down in terms of we had to halt submission processes. I think it was Friday or Thursday last week. It was very stressful for Sauce. It still is very stressful for Sauce and I. We're trying to work it out. We've had problems with insurance. The problem is when you do a bulk sub in the United States, it's like you're sending stuff domestically. So it doesn't really matter. But the problem over here for us is we have to send stuff over to the States while it's insured. Then when we get it back, we need to pay for insurance on the exports. Obviously, as you know, the value of cards gets significantly enhanced after they're graded, opposed to being raw. So the value of that, we have to take in consideration return postage. We're going to take into consideration custom fee, if anything, when coming back into the country. And we were looking at it like we need to put a halt here because we don't want it to be where Sauce and I are out of pocket potentially $500 to $1,000 on the first sub. And we have to turn around to our clients, which they are our clients now, people in the HGA Bulk Subs Australia Facebook page, and say to them, listen, we need to charge you minimum of $75 just for a 40-day turnaround. Now, as we've always said, we want to try and bring the best possible service to our friends and to people in the hobby. And we do not want to be overcharging people as if it's like literally a money-making machine. We're not like that. We've said it 100 times. We spoke to HGA. We've spoken to other people as well that we've got some things working in the background. And we've always said, if we make $3 or $4, we don't care for our time. We just want to provide the service at a reasonable price and be able to get people to get their cards graded with HGA. Because as we know, if you're sending it to PSA, you're not seeing your cards for a very long time. So where we're at the moment, we may have hit a lead. We hope that it works out. We're just finalizing a few things. And we hope by the end of this week, maybe start of next week, we got our insurance sorted and then we're up and running and we can hopefully get the sub out as soon as possible. And a massive thank you as well on behalf of Sauce and I to everyone that sent their cards in. We understand how difficult this time is. And we said we were happy to pay all return shipping to everyone, free of charge, nothing on them, refund, whatever they needed. And the people that had subbed with us were kind enough to say, no, we want to stick by you guys till you get this sorted. And we're happy for you to send it out whenever you send it out. So thank you to everyone there. And thank you to everyone for the support in the group as well. It is much appreciated. And we're trying very hard to get this sorted. It's been super stressful, but hopefully there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel there, Sauce, and we can get it sorted within a week.
Yeah, mate. I've been given the runaround a bit from insurance brokers and insurance companies. It's no fun. But got a few leads at the moment, and hopefully something confirmed by the end of the week. We're hoping so, but no promises there. But yeah, we're still working on it. And look, we've already been through 3 insurance brokers, and now we have another 3 on go. So we're now up to 6. Up to 6 insurance brokers we've been through. We've got 3 working on now, and 3 we've given the ass. So it's
good fun.
Yeah, well,
fun and games.
Yeah, fun chasing up people, isn't it, Doma? But that's the world we live in. So we're not going to give up. We keep pushing through, and hopefully we can get a result for you guys and get your cards subbed out, because I've got some bangers in there that I want to get subbed out as well, Doma. So as much as people are anxious to get their cards subbed, I am
we're also
as well.
Subbing out, so
we're subbing a bunch of cards ourselves.
Fee,
so
we've paid our fee.
So
we're in the same boat. So yeah, all right. Moving on, Sauce. I don't know. Do you want to go through UFC Chronicles? We're running out of bit.
No, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go straight into
just a quick shout out before we to the Jordan record $2.7 million card. It's an all-time high.
You got it, Doma?
I do have it. While you get the started from the bottom, now we're here.
That's sorted, brother. That's sorted. I'm prepared this week, mate. I'm prepared.
Last week you was.
I'm prepared this week, mate.
So you're telling me that I'm the unprepared one this time?
Yeah, mate. You're behind the 8 ball. Well and truly.
Old struggle town for Doma. Here it is. Bang. There it is. Single most expensive Jordan sale of all time. A 97.98 Upper Deck game worn patch Michael Jordan card with an on-card auto sold for $2.7 million. It's an all-star. The reason why this one's worth this much, I'm pretty sure, like, the encyclopedia of the hobby told me that this is his first jersey auto card.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct.
Jersey / people call it patch autos now, when that's clearly a jersey. But anyway, that's why it's so sought after. Clearly 23 in existence. All right, so we'll start it from the bottom now here. Let's go. Let's get on Cardladder. Let's see your favorite feature. The pop rise.
I'll bring it up, Noah.
You love it.
I'll bring it up.
You love this.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, started from the bottom, now we're here. We've brought it up today, and we're comparing LaMelo Ball PSA 10 base prism rookie card to Zion and Ja Morant base prism. Here's the 6-month graph. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, when you go into Cardladder, you look up a card. So, say you might bring this card up here. You go into these top 3 bars down here. It goes compare this card. You go compare this card. It brings you to this other graph here. And then you can bring up a whole bunch of cards here. So I brought up those 2. And why I'm comparing these today, Doma, is LaMelo Ball. He's the new shiny toy on the block. He's fresh out of the draft. He's been in the season for the league for 1 season. And there's only 242 of his PSA 10s in the pop report. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been living under a rock, PSA at the time when Prism Basketball dropped last year, they shut down, right? So you couldn't send your Prism base cards, LaMelo Balls to PSA. Now they've opened, but they're opened at $200 a pop or $150 a pop now. Well, they opened at $200 originally.
Yeah, $150
USD, right? So don't be fooled. All of these Zions and Ja Morants, a lot of those were subbed on $10 or less to PSA when they had that service available. So people aren't subbing this at $150. All right. So this pop report, although it may rise in time when they get down to a $50 or $60 option, and it might still be worth it to send it for $50 or $60 when they're selling for $200+. But at this current point in time, where you're paying $540 for LaMelo Ball, only $387 for a Zion, and $218 for a Ja Morant, are we saying that LaMelo Ball is 2 times better than Ja Morant? Because you can buy 2 of Ja Morant's base prism for 1 of LaMelo Ball. And you can even get a Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson was supposed to be the next coming of LeBron, by people. The generational talent. Have people forgotten about this generational talent? Because he's selling for $50 cheaper? $153 cheaper than a LaMelo Ball?
Yeah, too busy watching Mountain Dew commercials.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, there's your graph, right? We'll go have a look at the 1 year. The 1 year is nice. That was back up here. But the last time that these, there were similar prices, you got to go back to, February this year.
How in the world? Oh, I don't understand this. I'm confused. How was Ja Morant Zion never at that value of LaMelo? Ever.
And no, they were. Hang on. All time.
Where?
Maybe not.
The peak. Are you kidding me?
No, they were never.
I know that the pop's low. I get that. But
but seriously, these people are paying over $1,000.
They're lemons. They were the ones that were on.
Zion cracked the 1K at one point, but that's it. But to say that, he's been up over 1K a few times, he's been close to there.
I'm going to ask you a question, Sauce. Now, I know you mentioned the pop report. Just quickly on the LaMelo, what's its pop increase? It wouldn't
The
be
growth.
Yeah, the growth. Fuck. All right.
45% a month.
So it's gone up about 100 cards a month. What's the Zion and Jar quickly? And that's on slow output by PSA. 1% now.
1.55%.
Okay.
And Ja Morant is 2.58%.
So this is a hard one, yeah, because I don't ever see, like you said,
I don't ever see
do you
his
see
pop
LaMelo
report getting
Ball
to
ever
close
get,
to theirs.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you ever see it getting to 8,000?
Yeah, I don't see he's getting past 10,000 unless they
Is it
ever.
better buy then? Because
No,
there's
it's
less in the
not.
pot?
It's not because it's not actually that rare. Like you should know, like there's more Prism 2021 Prism printed than 1920, and there was more 1920 than 1819.
Yeah, I understand, but there's less graded of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually mean that it's rare. I think this is the perception from people is
That's
that
why I'm asking.
people are going to think that it's more rare. It's not more rare. It's just that people aren't grading it at that price. At $8 a card, $9 a card, $10 a card, everyone's grading every Ja Morant or Zion Williamson base card that they had. But at at $200 when they first opened grading, not everyone was sending LaMelo balls. Yeah, people sent LaMelo balls because they knew that when they got it back, they could sell it for $1,400.
Yeah, $1,400.
Right? Or $1,000. So they're still going to send it. But when you're going to now pay $150, this $540, it's not going to stay at that. It's going to drop. It's going to drop. So this pop number won't rise that much until they release a lower price point. Then yes, it might rise. But this is where I'm saying, Doma, where it brings it in, where like, well, why aren't we still grading these? We can still grade them. Well, let's grade them at SGC. Let's grade them at CSG, right? Let's grade them at HGA, where it still only costs you $20 to $30 a card, right? So there's still a place for it. There's still a place to get these graded. But the fact is, people they won't value it as much. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that people have to wrestle with. But this is where I'm saying it's like why I think there's a place for every grading company, because these sorts
100%.
of cards shouldn't be going to PSA anymore. PSA is there for your variants, your variants, your numbered stuff, your higher cards, your first off the line stuff, but your Prism base, your optic bases, your select base cards, rookies, nah, not for there anymore. It's just not feasible. It's not you can't afford it. There's no value because by the time you pay the sub, you're really out of pocket. So this is what I'm saying is like, if SGC and CSG and HGA have a large number of these Prism LaMelo Ball base cards graded, like, people should start respecting them in the market, because if you want to collect that card, if you want to, use his base Prism card as sort of like an indicator of LaMelo's market, well, then, people are going to have to at some point respect the other grading companies, because people aren't going to be sending these to PSA. I genuinely can't see that getting past, as I said 10K, and that's probably comfortable, but I can't see it getting past 7K, the pop. Now, there's a hell of a lot more than 7,000 out there of PSA 10 worthy LaMelo Ball Prisms if you look at previous years and the data.
The thing that's crazy, Sauce, like, I'm just on HGA now, yeah? Oops. This is the thing. Their pop report's a bit all over.
We'll have to make some suggestions.
We've got to fix
their pop report. It's pretty average.
What have we done here? I'm trying to find their Prism. Is it Prism Basketball? Like, I clicked on Prism and I'm seeing Patrick Mahomeboy. I don't want to see Mahomeboy. Well, we can ask Tyler about it because we're getting him on. So he's back, baby.
I'm kind of trying to get the SGC grading pop report up and see what that's. Pop report.
Ooh, black and white checker. Michael Strahan. I like that. I like Michael Strahan. Kyler Murray. I don't know. Is there Desmond Bain? Yeah. Oh, search. Ball. LaMelo Green. Come on, man. Surely. It's the only prism. There's the green variant. No one's graded a LaMelo prism base with HGA? I don't think so. That's got to be wrong. That's crazy. No, I wouldn't have thought so. Anyway, besides the point. You're looking for it there.
I'm just looking for the SGC pop
one.
report, see what it's at. Their pop report's actually not bad.
Yeah.
SGC. It's well set out. Takes a bit of time to load, though.
No record. Oh, okay. I thought I said no records to display. Jeepers creepers by the time we find this thing.
Contains.
Ball. LaMelo.
Oh, my.
It's
So slow.
Clunky, man.
So clunky. But they're all like that.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's loading. It's very, very slow. So slow.
Have you got a Saucy Smokey?
Look at this page unresponsive.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I got a Smokey.
Right.
We're gonna get rid of this. I don't know what's going on with this. Now it's taking its sweet ass time. But ladies and gentlemen, starting from the bottom now here. Do we really think that LaMelo Ball is better than Zion and Ja Morant?
Yes.
I mean, according to his prices, in that sense,
yes.
It's pretty crazy.
All right, let's get to Saucy.
That's why I said just be careful on buying LaMelo Ball price cards.
I hope
They're ridiculously overpriced. They're
Zion's
ridiculously overpriced,
That's
like
a joke.
severely.
Yeah, but so is all the other crap sauce. So is all the other crap. It's all the same. It's like we can't justify the grading price. So what do we do instead? We just raise the price of everything else.
All right. So his base prism, I've got it up here. Hang on, I've got it up. I'm going to bring it up before we move on.
Here we go.
His base prism, there's 803 total graded. So 803 total graded. There's 175 SGC 10s and 250 9.5s. So you could nearly put the 9.5s and the 10s together, and that could also be added to the PSA 10 prop report. Essentially,
there you go. Slowly getting towards 1,000.
Slowly towards 1,000. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, there's a place for these cards to get graded. SGC and HGA and CSG are the place.
BGS.
PSA. BGS, man, I don't even know. Don't get me started on them.
No. We'll leave BGS to Goldberg. He just goes through them every single time. He was us. He was us when we were doing it every week. That's become him whenever those three letters are brought up, he just goes straight. It's so funny. All right. Saucy Smokey.
So the play I've got for people out there is Doma. I showed you today. I went on a bit of a buying spree. There was auctions ending and I just couldn't help myself. Be on the lookout, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about it last week. We brought it up on the show. Our friends down at Cherry talked about it, put a tweet out about it. Lower end PSA graded cards, especially PSA, because everyone wants to buy that red label on the top, right? So that's what I'm saying, especially PSA. But looking for lower end cards, PSA 9s, PSA 8s, I picked up a PSA 9 Derek White rookie card, optic, base. Yes, it's base. I paid $4 for it, Dom, plus shipping. It was $9 total US shipped. Straight to Star Stock. Sit it in there. Hopefully flog it off during the season. I also got a John Collins optic red yellow optic base card. I think I paid total $11.50 shipped straight to StarStock. Sit that one in there. And then this was my favorite one, Doma. PSA 9, Tim Duncan, Topps rookie card for $41.50 shipped. This was a card that peaked, Doma, and I showed you the graph, peaked in February at $400. It is down 10x. It is down 10x.
Here's a nice one for you. There you go, ladies and gents. Here's a nice one for you. 5 hours left.
5 hours left. There you go.
Centering looks good on that.
Centering looks very good on that.
You know, Sauce, I'll tell you, do you want to know the next scheme? As crazy as this sounds in the hobby, what's to say we can't buy every single card under $150 in a PSA slab and sell it for over $150? Grading costs $150. Technically, that card there in front of me on the screen right now could sell for $50, yeah, in the last 5 hours. But technically, you're getting it for $100 cheaper than what it's worth because it costs you $150 USD to bloody grade the card. That's the way I think about it. I'm getting it for $100 off. You go to grade any modern and vintage card under $150. If you're picking it up, it is a steal.
Yeah,
it's a steal, especially if you're getting numbered stuff. If you're getting numbered stuff,
I wouldn't say any card under $150.
No, in terms of vintage, like Shaq. Like
I understand, Dom. I understand.
You know what I mean? You can't go send this card into PSA now.
Yeah, that's right. People aren't going to send that in. Because it gets a 9 and what? You're looking at a $30 card. So you're not going to send that in for $150. And even if it gets a 10 on that card at the moment, Domo, is only worth $300, $400. So even if it gets a 10, you're only going to make $200. Whereas before people were sending these cards in on $10.
Mate, look,
that's why there's so many of these on the market.
It's $25 raw. But if you get lucky, you can get this for probably $25 slab. Who knows?
So, ladies and gentlemen, the play is current day players that are playing now in the NBA. If you're picking up their rookie cards, whatever it may be, base cards or whatever, cheap, might be variants, PSA 9s. I would be trying to stick to, if you're modern, sticking to PSA 9s and 10s, because I even picked up a Matisse Thybulle Prism base card today, Donna, PSA 10 for $24.50 shipped. You know, I won that on auction, $20, $4.50. You can't even, it costs you, as you said, $150 to send that in. No one else is sending that in. That pop report's not growing anymore, right? Let's be honest. It's only growing from what's being put in there, right? But I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is those modern guys that are playing in the NBA today, buy them on eBay, send them straight to StarStock. I've given this play before. Those are the ones that you sit in there and you try flipping during the season. It's easier to flip. You don't have to, you pay less fees. It's $5 fees. You don't have to ship it anywhere. It's already in your account. As soon as you sell it, it's out of your account and into the other blokes and you get the money. There's no buyback. There's no PayPal fees. There's no freaking PayPal buyer's protection. So you can't get screwed over like that. So many good things to do that. When doing that with StarStock, arbitrage between eBay and StarStock, as I like to call it. And then the other one is, as Doma mentioned, he mentioned Shaq. I picked up a Tim Duncan that was dirt cheap. These guys, people have just forgotten about them. They're just forgotten about these legends that peaked massively in February and March. Even Kobe's are freaking cheap. I mean, you want a Kobe Topps BGS 8.5 rookie card. I think they're going for like $220 now. This was a card I sold for $800 at the peak of the market. $800. Yeah, and now they're back down to $200. You buy a PSA 8 for $200. You buy a PSA 9 for $400. PSA 9s at one point were close to $2,000. So
it's just insane.
The market's down on some of this stuff. I'd be looking at trying to pick them up. Those PSA 9s and 8s and 8s of the older cards, as Doma said. If it's in the 90s, I'm happy to go with 8s. And if it's modern stuff, I'm looking for 9s and 10s. Because I feel like 8s on modern stuff, it's you're really behind the 8 ball. Unless you're picking it up for $2 or $3, which I've done before. I've picked them up for $3, and I think it's the best thing because you can literally put that back up on eBay and make $5-6 off it. Like there's someone out there who will pay a bit more than you. So when you're buying them that cheap, but that is Saucy Smokey Doma. I'm gonna wrap it up there because we've hit the 2-hour mark. This has been a long one, obviously, with the
we haven't
NBA
done a 2-hour one in a few weeks.
Yeah,
but it's been a good app. Great episode. We love doing it. Did Sauce. Thanks everyone that joined in on the chat. Thanks to everyone that supports us, as we always say. Keep sharing us out there. Jump in the Discord. The banter in the Discord. In the chat.
No one look at the lower grade. Hey, that was me. He's saying no one look at the lower grade Jordan PSAs is Adam slabs. Yeah, that's me, mate. I'm looking at them. I missed out on I got outbidded on a few today, unfortunately. But yeah, you know that play. I've given that before on this show, Adam, which is GOAT slabs, whether it be LeBron, whether it be Kobe, whether it be Jordan, and picking them up.
Who? Jordan Poole or
no, there's only one Jordan, mate. That's Michael Jordan. MJ 23. Air Jordan.
Andre Jordan.
No, mate. So. All the others are phonies.
At the moment, it's all Jordan Poole. People pay for his instead of paying.
Yeah, Jordan Poole and Jordan Nwora.
Yeah,
Jordan Nwora.
Yeah, and no one's buying Michael Jordan. They'd rather buy those lemons instead of buying Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Like... Do you hear how fucking stupid that sounds, Sauce?
Please, someone buy my Jordan Nwora order on eBay. Please, someone buy it. I'm
buying Jordan Nwora and Jordan Poole, but I'm not buying Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Like, it's so dumb. Anyway, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. Double coverage. I'm done with the great man Sauce. And peace. I'm telling you.
Peace out, ladies and gents. Buy Michael Jordan. Buy the goats. Buy the goats, as Big Boy tells us, as Shano tells us. Buy the goats.
Buy the goats.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.